Well, I guess we're live again.
Again.
My name is Rob.
My name is Jody. Hi.
Hi. We're gonna just explain this. We're not trying to take anything from anybody. We thought it would be a cool thing just for us to talk to each other, how we met, and all that. So this will probably be the first and only one that we do. We don't know.
I doubt it.
We'll see.
Yeah.
But right now we're sitting in our bedroom, sitting on the bed, and it's Sunday today, and we have been together now 8 years, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
known each other for almost 30.
Yeah, almost 30. We met each other first in 1985.
Yep, through his brother.
Yep. You used to date my brother.
Yep.
Unfortunately, here she goes. Yeah. It was. Hey, you had a winner there. But listen, it was like, I remember the night. It was in the wintertime.
Right.
And
Christmas.
Yeah. And, I remember that. Had a Christmas tree up. You come over and you were wearing, like I said earlier, it was like a
striped shirt.
Sweater.
Sweater.
Yeah, it was a sweater. It was like a white sweater with pink in it or something like that. You had on like straight leg jeans, kind of like dark blue jeans, and white tennis shoes.
My hair was tied back.
Yeah.
All right.
I remember that. You don't remember that.
No, but you told me before.
I could have told you had bozo hair on. You would have believed it, right?
I probably would.
But, it was a fun time. I mean, you were that night was kind of weird in a way. We're not going to get into it because I don't think anybody needs to know. But I was actually fascinated with you.
Really? That's nice.
Because you were very quiet. And
shy.
you know who I was with? I was with Anna at the time. And she was definitely, she was a beautiful woman. She at that time, she was actually home with her parents for Christmas. Well, not because I couldn't be there, but because I was working.
Right.
And she wanted to go spend some time with her mom and dad. So I was there at the house alone. I think that's why James wanted to come visit me and stuff.
Right.
Which was okay. All I know is that you were very quiet.
Right. Very, very shy.
Yeah, but you kind of it's just something about you I liked, I guess, But, then 21 years later, you and I was in a chat room. I was in a Yahoo chat room, and I was promoting my parenting website.
Yep.
You just popped up.
And then you popped up on me saying...
Popped up on you? You popped
you
me.
Asked... I asked you if you were James's brother, and you said, yep.
Yep. And then you said it was... and you said it was Jody, and I said, I knew who you were. I didn't say, who? Oh, yeah. It was like, I knew immediately. I was like, oh, yeah.
Yep.
And then you said you had a crush on me.
Yep.
I guess I had a crush on you, too. You were just so really cute. You were just really cute.
Oh, thank you.
I liked that. You just had that real cute face, like a baby face. I just liked it. It was just... And I liked you being quiet. Because I was used to women going, in my ear all the time, Not saying that Anna was that way, but Anna kind of took her aggression out in fists.
In pans.
Huh?
In pans.
Yeah, man. Whack. But, we'll get into that some other day. But anyway, what was really cool is that when we first met each other online 21 years later, we kind of were talking back and forth through chat.
Yep.
And then you got busted
by your
husband. Well, I don't know. Understand? We weren't doing anything. Well, actually, you were.
I think so. I think I said something like "I love you" or something on there.
Is that what you said?
Something.
I don't remember. You might have. Well, the thing about it is when I said we were meant to happen.
Right.
Because it was fate, and I'm a big believer about fate. And I remember that. That's really what I based all of it on. I was kind of like, when we were talking, through the chat deal.
Chat, yeah.
I was like, this is fate. I mean, how could it be anything else but fate? That you were, like, we met each other, and 21 years later,
I'm here.
You're there. And I think I was 21 at the time.
Wow.
That's one I don't, we need to calculate that to find out how old I was. 85? No, I was 20. I think so. 19.
I
don't
graduated
know.
in 88, so.
I don't know how old I was. We'll do the math later when we're smarter.
Sure.
But anyway, so.
It's got to be more than 21, though.
You think so?
Yeah.
No, I mean, how old I was, and how old were you at that time?
In 85?
Yeah.
Probably, because I graduated in 88, and I was like 17, 18 then. We met in 85.
So you were 17?
Something like that. 16,
No, you
17.
had been 16 or 15.
I can't remember.
Yeah, well, we'll figure out the math later, okay?
Yeah.
But you came in, we talked. Well, you didn't do a lot of talking like you're not doing now.
Gee, thanks.
But
You're doing most of the talking.
I know, I always do all the talking. It's like, oh my God.
You're not shy at all, are you?
No, I've never been on the radio before.
You have to.
Anyway, so, okay, so we were talking, and then we actually, I was asking you, I think I know why you got in trouble. We were being kind of like, we weren't talking about anything that has to do with sex. We were just talking about we had crushes on each other, and you go, I remember I said, I'll just wait, I'll just wait. When you got in trouble, you were like, yeah, and I do have a problem with your daughter, and yeah, I do have this and that, and it's like, I don't think you typed that to me. I think it was your husband.
He typed that to you?
He had to, because he said something about you having a problem with my daughter, and and stuff like that. Yeah, and I didn't think it was you because it was really rude. And I said, okay, I'll just wait. And it was like, what was it, year and a half, 2 years after that, maybe, or was it a year?
Maybe. I think it was 2. No, maybe not even 2.
Maybe
year and a half.
Year and a half.
Maybe, yeah.
I get this phone call, and Jody's like, yeah, my husband died. And I'm like, wow.
That was quick.
It did happen quick, didn't it? Yeah. But you got married to him. That was kind of cool that you did that, though. I mean, you got married to him after you found out that he had...
Right.
Right.
And you didn't want to wait another year.
We didn't have another year.
Didn't have another year.
Yeah. That was sad.
Yeah, it was.
But the thing about it is
he's in a good place now.
Yeah, he is. But, when you called me up, we started talking. And we were talking about... I was asking you all sorts of questions. What you like. I know you liked music, though.
I love music.
I know. You always talk about that. I remember the night we were on, like, the chat, like the camera, the webcam, and you had just gotten out of the shower. You weren't naked. You weren't naked. You were actually very, but, you looked, I kind of I liked it when you have wet hair. I really like that. Because it makes you look
weird.
It makes you look so innocent.
Really?
Yeah. I just love that. When you're in the shower and I'm peering in at you, I like to look at your face because you have that real innocent look on your face. Even though you're not innocent, believe me.
You're funny.
But, and then, so we talked. I don't know, I really don't know how long it was after he died that we just...
Very long.
It wasn't very long because I'd say a couple months, if that. And then one night you were talking to me, and You fell asleep on the phone.
Well, yeah.
I used to have to go, Jody, yeah.
Then I'd call you right back.
And then I hung up, and all of a sudden, ring. I kind of fell asleep. And I go, do I bore you that much?
No, I was just tired from working and shit.
You still to this day say sometimes when I start talking, I can put you to sleep.
Yeah, because you got that deep voice.
Yeah?
It's like,
you'd be
baby.
surprised.
You could put a baby to sleep, probably.
I mean, I used to do that. I used to do that to Karen. Put
her to sleep?
Sometimes she gets so pissed off, she'd say, will you shut the fuck up? I'd go, okay. But I'd keep going, and she just, just like, you know how I get. I don't know, sometimes I don't know how to shut up, right?
So you guys are exactly alike. She likes to write books, and you like to talk a lot.
What's that?
She likes to write books.
And I like to talk a lot.
Yeah. And I don't mean regular books.
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Yeah. Very, very, very long-winded. Very, very detailed.
Yep.
Yeah.
She likes to have intellectual conversations, too.
I still don't get that one. I don't know. I don't know. I don't get it. I just don't get it. She's like, well, why do you want a divorce? Because I'd like to have an intellectual conversation with somebody. I'm like, what the hell does you need? You're married to me. What the hell has to be so intellectual about our conversations? I mean, tell me something. She didn't think I had any brains until after we were apart. That's just weird. And then she finds out that I'm a lot smarter than she, and it's just because it was our age difference. No big deal. Let's leave.
No.
Huh?
It was your age difference. You're a lot smarter than her. It's probably why she got pissed at you all the time.
She used to get real mad, boy. But anyway, no, I mean, and then I said, anyway, I was like that night. Yeah. I was laying there, and I don't think I've ever told you this, but I laid in bed. And I just sat there and just laid there, and I just thought, because we had talked about you coming here,
Yeah.
And I said to myself, I go, man, that is a big step. And I was talking to my friend Amy, and I said, yeah, I didn't tell her that I was bringing you here, but, Amy was a real good friend of mine. She's like one of my best friends in the whole world. We don't talk anymore, but if she's ever listening to this, she will talk to me after that. But anyway.
She doesn't talk to you anymore?
Well, she's got her new life and stuff. It's no big. We'll talk about, I mean, she's doing good. I'm happy for her. We just kind of drifted apart because, you came into my life and you were, at first we had a little bit of problems, but we got past it. But anyway,
People are people. I mean, there's a lot of people out there that have problems. Not only us.
That's true. Yeah.
Look at my mom and dad. They were married for a long time, and they had their troubles.
You mean they fought?
Oh, God.
You mean married people fight?
Honestly, Rob.
I don't fight with anybody. Yeah. She almost said it. You heard it?
Yeah, right.
Oh, bullshit, she said. Anyway, I think like when I was laying there, this is what I was thinking. I was like, my life is good, but I need someone in my life. I mean, I've raised my daughter up. I never was with that. Do you realize that I wasn't with another woman since her mom for over 10 years?
Damn.
I didn't have anything for 12 years, or 10 years. 10 years. Nothing.
Wow.
No dates. No sex. I had nothing.
That's gotta suck.
Well, I'm telling you.
10 years?
No, it sucked for you. But anyway, but the thing about it is I said, you know what? It just feels right. I just knew. Something inside me, ever since we started talking, just felt right. I knew you were going to be with me.
Right.
You don't think so?
Yeah.
How did you know?
I knew it because we get along. I mean, we like the same things, pretty much. We like the same kind of music.
Yeah.
Um.
And we argue the same.
Oh God.
But the thing
The
about
same
it is,
thing.
that's what I was thinking. I was like, it just feels right. And I said to Elizabeth, I said, look, I'm going to go up and get Jody, and she's going to live here with us. That's how I told her.
I bet that trip was fun. All the way up
All
there.
the way up there. Yeah, that was a trip, all right. But, yeah, I went all the way up to St. Agnes, and I brought a trailer up there, And you weren't even ready. Because you thought I was bullshitting that I wasn't going to come up there and get you.
Uh-huh.
You weren't even packed and ready to go. Well,
I was.
when I told you I was on my way, that's when you started packing. You were probably smoking all the dope you could, too.
No. Oh, no.
And then when we first saw each other, it was like you were being all shy. You had your hoodie on over your head. It's like, because you had that black hoodie. I think it was I don't know, you still got it in there.
Stewie Griffin one.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that thing.
And you were like, and I was like trying to look at you, and you were kind of like not talking to me at first, but then we packed all your stuff up in the trailer. The girls helped, Elizabeth and Brittany and your stepdaughter, the one that ripped you off.
Yeah, she did me some
bad. And then we drove all the way back from St. Agnes to the house. But between the house and there, we had a hell of a time. You got to meet my daughter and her friend Brittany.
All the way down, hear the same song all the way back.
Yeah. Yeah, that song sucks. I hate that today. I just cringe every time I hear that song. And I play it on the radio station.
Touch herself. She touched herself.
My
Call
God.
her on the phone and she touched herself.
Oh.
Touched myself. Yeah, it's touched myself.
Yeah, she didn't touch herself. She better not be touching herself. But anyway,
touched myself.
Anyway,
I cried myself to sleep.
No, don't do it. I'll kill you. And then Brittany kept floating across the seat. You go around the corner and she go from one side to the other. And she wouldn't even miss a beat. She just keep typing or texting. Elizabeth had her first cell phone when she was 8. And then she lost it. And then she got another one.
And lost it.
And then lost it. And then you got her one.
And then she lost that.
And then she lost one. And I got her one and I said, if you lose this one, you're not getting any more.
Yeah, right.
And she did.
And then she got another one.
And she got another one.
And then still has it.
Yeah. Yeah. Are you listening, you ungrateful brat, you? Anyway. But it was weird. I mean, we got home that night. We got home late. I think we got home real late, didn't we? It was like midnight around there, 1 o'clock.
Something like that, yeah.
And we unloaded most of your stuff out of the trailer.
Yep.
And we climbed in bed.
And
we had sex. I had to fight you for it for a little bit. Like right now, hell yeah, it's been like 10 freaking years. I got a girl next to me, and I'm gonna be there's something down there that I need to check out, and I did. And I was like, man, oh man, I couldn't.
You did too. You checked it out really good.
Yeah. I made up for lost time.
Yep.
And very quickly, too, though. It didn't take long, but it was great. I'll never forget it. But that's the day you stayed here. And ever since then, we shared our bed.
Still here.
Yeah, 8 years. We didn't date.
Nope.
Kind of reminds you of a TV show, right?
Yeah, I know, right?
And it happened in real life, but we kind of knew each other. We didn't meet like they did, but it was like but we did basically the same thing. And just
pretty much
one day moved in here, and we've been together ever since. We had to learn from each other.
Right.
That was a trip.
It was awesome, though. I'm still here.
Yeah, and then first thing you did is you met Patches, and then Bo and Trigger.
Right.
And you hated the cats when you got here. Because you were an animal slayer up there.
Well, actually, I had some cats up there when I was with Alan.
Well, then what was wrong with my cats?
I don't know. I just had to get used to them, I guess.
Yeah, you just didn't like cats. Don't listen, guys. There's Trigger. Can't keep him out, can't keep him in. You know, there he goes. But
Why you shut the door?
And then I think then you showed me that you couldn't cook. You know, worth a darn.
Putting potatoes in warm water when they're already cooked. I could have put them in the microwave.
You know, I don't understand. I still to this day, you know, I go out, you know, and she's like, I think I got something's wrong. And I go, what? I go out there, and she's got the mashed potatoes in a pan of water, and she's trying to warm them up. And I'm looking at her, I'm going, you got to be kidding me.
How about the tater tots?
The tater tots, that was funny. Yeah, that was funny. Puts them in the deep fryer. What the hell was that? I was like,
my bad.
I don't know. I think
it would work if it was on higher heat, but it wasn't.
Yeah,
I think tater tots
you didn't know you had to heat the oil up, but you didn't do that. And then one day she's reading her little thing and she sees a recipe for meatloaf.
Turned out good.
And turned out good, and ever since then her meatloafs are killer, except one batch.
Oh yeah, that was bad.
That was another one of her experiments that almost she put like oregano in the meatloaf. Oregano! And then she didn't mix it in good, and she gave me the first piece that had like 90% oregano and 5% meat. You know, the rest fat. And I'm sitting there going, yeah, it tastes real good. When you got to the center, you were okay. It tasted okay. But why would you put oregano in? It's like,
I don't know.
I don't know. Yeah, but
I was experimenting.
Yeah, well, in 8 years, you really became a real good cook.
I learned a lot.
You've learned a lot since you've been here.
I grew up a lot. Well, I was already grown up, but
well, I don't know.
I learned a lot.
I'd say more. It's like this. It's like
I changed a lot.
You are not. You know, it's really strange because you know I met all your family, and all of them are they're really good people. I have a lot of respect for your family. You know, it's just it's really funny because I think if they knew you better, they'd appreciate you better. I really do.
Yeah.
I'm thinking because they don't know you anymore. They don't know that you've grown up and you've matured and you're taking care of me. You take real good care of me and Elizabeth. I mean, you have. I
have.
And you've taken good care of the cats.
I spoil the cats.
Cats, got to be here at 5 o'clock feeding time because the whole house shakes.
Oh my God.
Mom gets out the pans and here comes every cat, and it doesn't matter if they're freaking doing something, they'll drop what they're doing, even if they're devouring a freaking chipmunk.
And you can hear them out in the living room just meowing away at me when I try to get their food out of their thing. Get it in their dish.
Remember when?
Meow, 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 meow.
Yeah, the Patches was like he was the ringleader of it all. He used to get his first all the time.
Yep.
He was like, I'm getting mine first, What we do is we give him soft food at night, and because it's really good for him. And then, we've been through a lot together. I mean, you had your seizures.
Yeah.
And
bad.
the first seizure you had scared the living shit out of me. That one, I was just like, I didn't realize, that you would do that because I thought you were taking your pills regularly, and it was just after that I started getting on your ass every night. Did you take your meds? Did you take your meds? And you go, yeah. And I go, that's only because I don't want to see you flopping like a fish. I'm mean. And then one night, we went to Coast Guard Festival. And we had a busy time.
It was fun, though.
Yeah, you had a lot of fun, but it wasn't fun that
afterwards.
Yeah.
It was bad after.
Yeah. I think what scared me the most when you flew off the bed, because I said, she's dead. Because you hit that floor so hard, man, it shook the house. Yeah, I'm surprised you didn't leave any, your head dent in the wall over there.
This wall?
Yeah, your head was like up on the nightstand, tilted sideways, like it was broke. Seriously.
Weird.
And I pulled you from your ankles, grabbed your ankles, because I couldn't, because you were turning purple. And I grabbed you and I got you around the end of the bed, got you on and then I resuscitated you. and you started breathing on your own. And at that exact time, I had 911 on the line.
Wow.
And I said, okay, just wait. Don't send an ambulance. I said, she's doing good. When she comes to, because I've been through it before. Like, it was twice before the big one. I'd already been through it, yeah. So I knew what to expect. So laying you on the side, and letting you come to, and then you go through that crazy crap. Like, you don't know who the hell I'm at. Who are you? And I'm like, it's Rob. It's me, Rob. And you're like shaking, you're going, and you're like backing away. Like,
I don't even remember doing that.
And you don't remember none of that. As a matter of fact, we'll talk about that other seizure you had after that. We'll talk about, because it proves that you don't know what's going on. It's like, here I am, and of course you when you have a seizure, you kind of you peed yourself,
right.
And I was like, and all of a sudden, then you start coming to, and you start recognizing things, and then you just kind of like lay down. You went to sleep for about 5-10 minutes. You woke up, and you were like, I go, are you okay? And you're going, why? What's wrong? And I go, you had a seizure, a real bad one. And you were like, I did? You had no clue.
I never remember any of them things.
Oh my God, it was
What
scary.
I say or anything.
But I saved your life that night.
Yeah, you did.
If I hadn't been here, you would have been a corpse. You would have died for sure.
That's freaky.
And yeah, I know it's really freaky. And then of course then we got that picture of you the following day, and you're sitting
with Patches.
Patches wouldn't let you out of his sight that whole couple days. He was just by you all the time. It was kind of weird that animals do that.
Yep.
And then now we were going to talk about that one where it's like I just proved it. Really, you don't have any clue what's going on. I mean, the one night you had a seizure in the bed. And you got up and went to the bathroom, and I'm sitting up, and I go, are you okay? And you go, yeah, but I think I peed the bed, and I'm like, duh? You just had a seizure, and you're like, I did? I don't even know it, And you were just like you are now. It's like, it's really weird.
It's really weird how you can tell that I'm going to have one, though.
That one, the bad one you had, I knew something was up, because when we went to bed, you were talking to me. You were laying there talking to me, all of a sudden you went, boom, hit the floor, and I was like, oh, man, that's bad. But I took care of you. But see, this is what I'm saying. You haven't had any seizures in a long time, but you're taking your medication, like, regularly.
Every night.
You're taking vitamins. You're taking care of yourself a lot better. You're eating better. You've come a long ways. I mean, like I said, your family would probably be like, really, if they just get to know you a little bit better, they'd see that you're just like any normal person. I mean, you have grown up a lot. You're not the baby no more. You're a grown woman. You have to put up with me.
Exactly.
I think that made you grow up quick, huh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You guys are good, though.
Yeah, I remember.
I take care of you guys.
I remember when me and Elizabeth used to say, we're perfect. And you'd
Yeah.
get so mad. You'd get so mad.
Yeah. I say, no, he's perfect.
We'd say, we are.
It's okay. Think what you want to think.
And then you've had some pretty good fights with Elizabeth over the 8 years, too.
Yeah.
I remember the one time she had you backed up in the corner over there, and she was just like ready to whoop some ass. And I said, you know what? Remember I told you? I said, what were you guys fighting over? It was,
I don't even remember that.
I don't know, but it was something like...
That's weird.
It was something like... And I just said, okay. And I said, that is frickin' it. And then we had... You remember what we did? We did the family session. Yes. And that... Didn't it not work? Mm-hmm. What we did... It's really weird because what we did is me and Jody sat down on the couch. We put Elizabeth on the other side of the room. But Elizabeth was at that age. I'd tell you what, she was 15, maybe?
Yeah.
15. Mm-hmm. And we said, she's the one that's on both sides of the fence. She sees what I do, and she's like, she's the best judge of us because she sees us from her perspective. She's not one sided.
Yeah.
And she said, that night was, I think, was the deciding factor that you and I were going to stay together, because she said, look, Dad, you do this and that makes her feel bad. And Jody, you can't do that to Dad. You know how he is. You can't do this and all that other stuff. We talked back and forth. It was like over an hour.
Right.
And after that, we all started. You and her started getting along better. We had to have like two more of those sessions after that.
Right.
And it works. I think it works.
And she doesn't like them very well.
I don't give a shit what she likes. It helped. And she knows that it helped, because you notice how she would get into it right away.
Yeah.
Yeah, she knew it helped. It's just she was lazy. That's all it was.
Pretty much.
Yeah. And then of course.
But we got along after a while. I mean, I don't know how old she was before we started getting along, but I think she grew out of, because we talked about everything. She liked it.
Yeah. I mean, I think you both irritate each other ever so often.
Of course.
You're women.
Yep.
I swear women frickin' all they do is fight with each other.
Or gossip.
Yeah. Made a couple mistakes, too.
I did?
We'll get into it long. Yeah, like letting Shauna move in with us.
Oh, my God.
And then the baby was great. We love the baby, but
Yeah,
the mom she was just, holy shit. A lie, and she lied so bad. And then, of course, we had, then we let my sister move in here, which was another mistake.
I should have said, I knew that would have never happened in the first place. I would have wished it would have never happened.
Yeah, it
Because
caused
it
a lot
didn't
of problems in the family, yeah. But, I don't know.
Bitched at.
So, shut up, Trigger. We're crying out loud. He's talking, our cat's talking underneath the door. He wants in here. So, I mean, how do you feel about our time together? I mean,
I think it's good. I enjoy it. I'm enjoying myself.
Even the fights?
No, not the fights.
How often do I make you cry?
A lot. I can't count that high.
Yeah, but I don't do it to be mean.
You don't mean... I don't know.
You're sensitive.
Yeah, I'm sensitive. Everybody says get a backbone, but...
You do. You argue with me. I mean, you argue with me to the point where I make you cry.
Exactly.
I don't mean, look, I love you. You know I love you.
I love you too.
It's just, I don't know. Sometimes you kind of get stressed out, and there's just the little things, We all know the great cheese fight.
Do we have to bring that up right now? That was bad.
All because of what? I didn't get what I wanted, right?
You didn't get your cheese.
But it wasn't the problem. It wasn't the
cheese.
It was the principle.
Yeah.
I sent you guys specifically
to the store for cheese. When you came back with no cheese.
No cheese different. And everything that you guys wanted, and I didn't get nothing. And I was like,
Yeah.
Then you both stormed out of here and told me to go fuck myself. Like, it was like, you both go walking out of here, both of you with this attitude, this high school attitude. Well, we're out of here. Boom, you're out. And you're gone. That's when Elizabeth was... Where did you guys go? Oh, because I was letting her drive the car before she had a driver. When she was 14.
Right, but did you walk?
No. You didn't walk. She drove the car. Remember, I used to let her... Yeah, I used to let her drive the car when she was like 15.
I thought we walked, but...
Well,
maybe.
I don't think walking, because you guys took off with the car again to go somewhere. Or ride around the park or something like that.
I think that's what we did.
I wonder what that conversation was like. He's such an asshole.
I think we stopped by Gabby's.
Huh?
I think we stopped by Gabby's.
My dad's on the rampage. I can just hear Elizabeth. Yeah, that was probably one of those deals where we just kind of we go. Yeah, just don't poke the bear. He's in a real foul mood.
Let him go to his office. Leave him alone. You'll get over it.
Yeah, I think next time we're going to have to talk about how it was raising Elizabeth.
Yeah.
Yeah. I love you.
I love you too.
All right.